So we've been talking about David Benavidez. Obviously, the internet is saying David is weight drained because of the media workout. What's your thoughts? Does he look weight drained to you, or is he just in great shape?
Yeah, I think he looks okay to me. He's got the speed. He's got his body. There are arguments for both sides of it, but it's all going to be in the performance. It's all speculation, isn't it? Right now, we have these conversations. I think before many different fights, and you've had times where people look weight drained on the scales, but then as soon as they get in the ring, they're fine. And there's other times the flip side of it where they look weight drained, and they don't perform. So the proof's going to be in the pudding on Saturday night. But I don't.
I mean, I think that the quote from Fight Week is that he said he's 3 pounds away from Friday from the weigh-in. What did you guys hear
Yeah.
in terms of
So I
Benavidez?
would think, yeah, I didn't hear what he said, but I would think on weight meaning on task to make
To
to make
make it.
weight. Yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah, 100%. Yeah, I feel like, in my opinion, it doesn't really matter what these guys say. It could mean exactly the opposite of what they actually think. Unless there's someone like, obviously, I'm bringing my UK perspective into it again, like Fury, who tells you exactly what he's going to come in at and exactly what he's going to do in a lot of fights. But I think there's a, it's different. I think Benavidez is going to be absolutely fine in the ring. He's going to make weight okay, and he's going to put in a good performance.
He did David Lemieux and
I
Phoenix.
don't know about 3 rounds. Yard is fairly strong up until 6. I feel like that's when maybe he slows down. I don't know. What do you think, Daniel? You probably seen more Yard fights than me. Even though I'm certainly a Lions in the camp. I just I'm just not like this huge supporter because he doesn't really win. But I love him and Tunde Ajayi. I love their energy. They're great guys. I met them that time you spoke of. Actually, it was my first time meeting him in person in L.A. for the Wilder fight. It's an uphill battle, though. He's facing a monster for sure.
One
And
que-
of
one
course,
one
it is.
second. One second, Daniel. Quest the mess. You won't have my protection anymore. Any longer. I'm gonna let him just tear you up. Go ahead, Daniel.
Oh shit, you wrong, brother.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you say it is an uphill battle
Yard.
of course, it is. It's gonna be a huge task for him. David Benavidez is an absolutely fantastic competitor, and Anthony Yarde, you say, he's got multiple losses on his record, of course, but he puts himself in these fights. He fought Artur Beterbiev. It came to the mid stages of the round, and Artur Beterbiev was too much for him. But he brings what fight fans want to see. He puts in those fights. That fight with Beterbiev and Yarde. It was a contender. It was a contender for one of the best fights of the year in terms of while it was lasting. I believe, in my opinion, I think it was a fantastic fight. He put in the performance that people want to see, really going for it, not running around the ring, engaging, bringing it to the fighters. So, Lions in the camp, he's going to bring the energy, he's going to bring the passion. But whether he can defeat the monster of David Benavidez is going to be a different question on Saturday night because of how good David Benavidez really is.
Let me
For
ask the
real. And I
panel
like
here.
Yard.
Uh, is this Yard's best opponent till date, or would we say because of accomplishments that would have to be better beef? Not only accomplishment, but even knockout power, right?
Yeah, I would think it would be Peterviev. Definitely.
Look at you pronouncing that name all perfect. Okay,
I sure
Beterbiev.
do.
I go with the better beef. I hear you, but Beterbiev. What about you guys?
Yeah.
Is this the best opponent that Yard has faced, or was it Beterbiev?
Sounds
Um,
good.
yeah. Well, for me, when was that Beterbiev? I'm getting mixed between the two names now. Beterbiev, Beterbiev. Anyway, that fight was in what 2023 January, so it would have been coming. It'll be coming up to just over 3 years now since that fight. When you get to January, since then, Beterbiev has gone on to face Bivol twice. Obviously, there's been different results. Um, but David Benavidez is a monster. He hasn't been at this weight for his whole of his career, so there's obviously that whole factor to it. Beterbiev has been at this weight for a while. Picking and choosing between, it's hard to do that, but I think they're both fantastic fighters in their own right, and huge opponent for him, huge test.
Sony Woods, Cincinnati, back with another 5. Does Daniel from the UK have predictions for the main card? So I guess Benavidez Yard. Are you going with your countrymen?
Well, my heart would be completely with my countrymen, of course, but in my opinion, David Benavidez is too strong, too experienced, and a better operator than Anthony Yarde. To be quite honest with you, as much as I would love Anthony Yarde to get the victory on Saturday night, David Benavidez is a very tough competitor, and I believe he's going to go very far in the sport after this fight.
I'm gonna put you in another tough spot. Remember I'm comparing the UK fans to the American fans. Another thing that we say, change the trainer. No one's asked Yard to get rid of Tunde Ajayi. Like, that's not a headline in the UK. Loss after loss after loss, rumors of no sparring, rumors of only pad work sparring. Never got rid of Tunde Ajayi. In America, pack him up. Earl Spence lost one time to the pound for pound greatest fighter of the last 20 years, and Derek James gets the boot. Ryan Garcia, one bad performance, he leaves Eddie Reynoso, and basically every trainer. In America, we blame the trainer. Why do you think Yard is still with Tunde
That
Ajayi?
is true.
Yeah, of course. Well, like, may I just say before I answer this question, this will have to be my last one of the day, but it's been an honour to be with you guys. But in terms of the actual question, Tunde Ajayi he's a big character in the UK scene, whether you like it or not. Maybe you haven't heard of him too much for loads of casual fighter fans, but if you love and watch UK boxing a lot, you'll see him in every interview. He's face in front of everything. He's a big character, and that relationship between him and Yard seems to be strong out of things they've gone through and the amount of fights they've gone through together. So there must be something between them that he wants to stay with him. He believes in his coaching methods. But you mentioned the amount of losses and what he's been through there. It is a great point. It is a great point. It wouldn't be tolerated in many other camps, many other fighters. But he obviously believes in him, and he's got a great relationship. And yeah, we'll see what happens. It'd be interesting to see what happens on Saturday night or after Saturday night as to whether they stay together and what is next for both guys, depending on the outcome.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've seen fighters here have one loss, and then the next thing you know, they're with another trainer. So that he must be big on loyalty as well, I would
Most
think.
certainly, most certainly.
Hmm.
I think a lot of UK guys they like to have their connection to people, and you do see a lot of people move around to different trainers, but when you get a guy that you've been with for so many years, you saw Anthony Joshua with Rob McCracken. He was with him for so many years of his career, and then obviously the U6 fights happened, and he started moving around. And he's with Robert Garcia after that, Ben Davison. And there's been talks about him moving into the Usyk trainers. So it's obviously important for people to do what's best for for them in their career. But yeah, like we say, it will be interesting to see what happens on Saturday night. And with that,
Absolutely.
like I say, thank you very much for having me on the show today. It's been an absolute honour. I hope
Thank
your
you
fans
so
have
much,
enjoyed you.
Daniel. We
Appreciate
appreciate your
it.
time today.
Can I give a little shout out to what I do?
Absolutely.
Sure. So my name is Daniel Sheehan. If you want to follow me on any social media, I run social for Ringwalk TV, and also doing some freelance reporting for Fight Hub as well. So if you want to see any of my stuff, I really appreciate it. And yeah, thanks for having me on again, guys.
Thank you
Salute.
again. Thanks, Daniel.
Thank you very much.
So
Salute.